Hello again, and welcome back. Got Wonders World. Fat Ugly One is back. No one of his. There's no bullshit beer review today. It's not a fat man sits in the shed talking about the beer he's currently drinking type video either. Thought I'd have a chat. Thought we could have a chat about about the new supermarket beers that have recently dropped into. Let's discard Asda a little bit, because Asda's drop came earlier in the year and there was some half decent stuff in there. The Overtone and the Brewdog, decent beer. So there was some half decent stuff into Asda. But the other three of the three main players, Sainsbury's, Morrison's and Tesco, all dropped within about 2 weeks of each other. I seem to remember. Excuse me. And there's probably, we say 20 odd beers across the three supermarkets. I'm talking about the craft beer side of these supermarkets now. And I haven't done them all. I pick and choose what I'm interested in picking up these days. The price of beer, obviously, we've all got. Excuse me, not feeling too well. We've all got sort of outlays. Things have gone up, so there's less money in our pockets. So we're all a little bit more cautious on what we're outlaying for. And I think the craft beer market is. I think it's beginning to see a decline. I think the supermarkets, certainly Tesco's at the end of last year and the beginning of this year, unless you were Brewdog, they really they didn't really care. I know they've done the odd sort of beer, 1-2 beers here and there, but we've had these 3 beer drops from Sainsbury's came first, then it was Morrison's, and then Tesco followed suit. All within a couple of weeks of each other. I think I've done 12. Well, no, I've done 12. Got them written down. Yeah, done 12 of the new lot, and I think there's a couple of things that stuck out for me. Price has gone up slightly. Obviously, everything's gone up. So obviously, when something like the prices go up on other things, the price of beer goes up. So we've gone from a uniform, really £3 a can on the supermarket shelves, and it can now range from anywhere from £3 to a £5. I know we've had £5 cans in the past. I think some of the North Star and the Death Star series and other bits and bats here and there have been at the £5 range. Generally, they've been sort of between 3 and 4. Whereas we've got a whole myriad of pricing points now. And with that raise in price, I don't think we've seen a raise in quality. From my opinion, on the live stream that I did on Friday, the happy hour live, that was very pleasantly surprised when Dave the Blue Van Man said he was going to join me, because I had no idea. And in that, someone made mention of they were drinking Love and Hate from VOCATION. Now, Love and Hate, still a tremendous beer. Me and my good friend Dean from Dean's Beer Reviews, going to give Dean a sub, we did a re-review of Love and Hate. I think it was earlier this year, late last year, and it still measures up even now. So it's a beer that VOCATION haven't messed around with. Love and Hate was one of the first real standout of the new wave, if you like, of craft beer into supermarkets. When that hit, I remember seeing certainly Dean's review and a few other people's that absolutely blown away by love and hate, and it still holds up. I think it's gone up in price. I think it's £3.50 a can now. I don't mind that extra 50p because it's a good quality beer. Probably the last of the original, and I'm not taking into account Jaipur and Punk, Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, all those sort of things. I'm saying when the supermarkets started taking craft beer a bit more seriously and not the shambolic shit that's going in there now. So Love and Hate's probably the last remnant that's still on the shelf, and I think that stands to the quality of the beer. We've had, I don't know what drop we're on now. We've been going 4.5, coming up for 5 years on this channel, and there's got to have been 10, 15 beer drops across the board of varying qualities. And I think the latest drop into the supermarkets has been the poorest. In all honesty, the ones I've done so far, and I've just got them written down here. The Choc Ice Stout from Northern Monk, which was from Sainsbury's. The Faith in Future's Smug came next, which was from the Faith in Future's Smug. I've still got the can, which was from Morrison's from Northern Monk, which was tremendous. That is a really good beer, to be fair. Dark Matter Stout from Northern Monk and Wiper and True. That was okay. That was pretty decent, to be fair. The Lucy Ketchin Faith in Future's one from Sainsbury's. That was okay. Wingman from Brewdog. That's available in all the supermarkets, I think, now. Fantastic can art. I'm not going to deny that. It was absolutely tremendous can art. But it was okay. People likened it in the comments to Brewdog's answer to neck oil. I'd have to put them up against each other. I don't think that's far from the truth, to be fair. I think that was a very good comparison. I think I called it a baby brother of Punk IPA. You've got the Girl from Mars, the most disappointing one for me because the can art. Oh, the cans are going to go everywhere now. The can art is absolutely tremendous. Sadly, the beer within it didn't match. You had the chocolate fudge brownie stout from Northern Monk. That was okay. It wasn't fantastic. It should have been. Sup from Northern Monk, their golden beer. I quite like that. Came in a 4-pack. I think that's a problem. Automatic from North Brewing Company, very kindly sent to me by North Brewing. Quite like that. You had the pumpkin spice latte porter. That was okay for what it was. Surely from Brewdog. Boring. And Shipwrecked, the Northern Monk Pina Colada IPA based on one of the best beers, Transient. They ruined that with that load of old crap. And for me, apart from the Smug, there was nothing I would particularly go back to. The supermarkets, certain breweries now, Brewdog, almost they want you to buy 4-packs of their beers. I don't want to buy a 4-pack, particularly of a beer I've not tried. Now I've tried Wingman. Would I buy a 4-pack of it? Not in your life. Sup from Northern Monk. You have to buy a 4-pack. I've had the 4-pack. I enjoyed it. Would I buy another 4-pack? No, I wouldn't. The Automatic, I liked that. That was a nice beer. Would I buy another 4-pack? Not unless it was in a deal. If I could get 2 boxes for like £9 like we used to have, I'd probably buy a 4-pack of that. I don't like buying 4-packs of anything these days, unless it's four bottles of Friends' Corner. So I think the supermarkets and the breweries are wedging themselves in on that, to be fair, and make it. Certainly Brewdog have gone down that road. But these beers that I've done on this latest release, for me, they scream they scream that craft beer is in trouble in the supermarkets. I mean, the supermarkets have obviously got a price point. The cost of everything's gone up. Malts, obviously, the prices of hops is sky high. I know we've had the problem through last winter and this early this year with the increase in fuel and everything. You've got the duty increases that have gone on in August, and it's just for me this last supermarket drop was the weakest of the lot from memory. You might disagree. I think there have been other drops that have been equally as bad. I use the term bad. There have been a couple of decent. Say Smug is a terrific beer. It's probably the only one that I would actually go back to, and possibly buy again. But yeah, what's gone wrong? What's gone wrong with the supermarket drops? I think that's what my question is. Is where, or is it us? Or is it us as a consumer? Are we expecting too much from a supermarket beer at £3 to £4 to £5 a can? Have our taste buds changed to the point of, are we expecting too much for the money? I don't know. I've enjoyed some of the beers. I don't know if I poured any of them away. I think I drank them all. Even the shipwrecked, which for me was the worst of the lot. I drank that because I've paid my money for it. I don't see the point in sink pouring something in a day. I've spent my money. Ranking the 12 that I've had, I'd probably put Shipwreck would be last. I thought that was not great at all. They ruined Transient. 11th, I'd put the Chuck Ice Stout from Northern Monk. Didn't do anything badly. Didn't do anything really well. It was a nothing adjunct heavy stout for me that I wouldn't pick up again. Wanda quite liked it. Again, horses for courses. 10th was a chocolate fudge brownie stout. Wasn't overly a fan of that either, having finished that off. The trouble is when you do a review, you have to make a sort of a split second decision. Actually, a good channel to go and watch is Bands, Bites and Booze reviews, because he goes into a lot of in depth. He lets his beers come out a little bit further, which is something we can all probably learn from a little bit, instead of just guzzling them all fucking down in the name of a quick video. Shore Leave from Brewdog, it was just dull. That was number 9. Number 8 was the pumpkin spice porter, latte porter from Northern Monk, which was, again, it was okay for what it was. I wouldn't go and buy it again. Number 7, the Girl from Mars, just a bit dull again. I think that's probably where I'm at with these beers. They're all a bit dull. Nothing really knocks your socks off. Number 6, Wingman. Again, fantastic can art. I think probably the best can art that Brewdog have ever done, in all honesty. But the beer inside didn't match that. Number 5, I would put Piss Up at Tesco, which I thought was okay. I wouldn't buy another box. Dark Matter at number 4, which was pretty decent. Again, I wouldn't buy it again. Automatic, I said if I could get 2 boxes of 4 for a deal, I'd probably pick Automatic up again. The Lucy Ketchin IPA, that was decent enough. And the standout for me, for the ones I've had, was Smug. But when you've got all that range, I haven't tried them all. There's a couple of brew by numbers. Well, there's 3 across the supermarkets. 3 brew by numbers. You've got the stout from Camden. Now, the Camden stout, I can only pick up, I think there's a box of 6 or 8. I don't want it. I think it might be a very nice beer. I know Dean's Beer Reviews has done a comparison with the Brewdog Black Heart. I think he's done it. I think it was today. I sat and watched that. I don't think I'm going to pick that up unless I can get a single can of it. What else have we got in there? You've got the frappe port. Is it a frappe stout? Frappe porter from Vocation. Might pick that up at some point. But I think for me, they've all they've all been a bit lackluster. We've had some lackluster beers over the time, and I know before the supermarkets were like throwing shit at a wall and seeing what would stick. And it's interesting that the only beers that actually stick around now are the Brewdog stuff, and even then they're getting rid of the decent stuff. What was the marshmallow stout called? Layer cake. Layer cake was good. It wasn't for me. She loved it. Roaster Coaster, that should have stayed on the shelf. I know that was brewed in Ohio, but easily one of the best Brewdog beers that's ever hit a supermarket. But now we're left with things like Planet Pale, Lost Lager. You've got that fucking abortion of a beer that is Silk Road. I haven't tried Grind. I've seen some reviews on Grind. I think Chris's beer reviews liked it. I think Dean liked it. It might be something I pick up at, if you want to see Grind, then let me know. But and I think we're at a stagnation point. I think we're at a stagnation point with the supermarkets and our view. Are we completely blown out by sort of what's coming in? I always get quite interested in the drops. They do well on the channel. I don't pick them all up anymore. Money, and there's a little bit of, it's all a bit samey, and I think that's probably true of craft beer in general, that it's all gone a bit samey. The most fun I've had in the last 4 or 5 weeks was the little German beer box, which I've still got down here, to be fair. Trying beers that I've never tried before, would never likely to try, and that was terrific. And then you had the Aldi side where they got Paulaner in, they got Spaten in, they got the Erdinger Weiss beer, Erdinger Oktoberfest Weiss. So there's been, and that whole month leading into the of Oktoberfest was terrific. It was not watched a load of videos. There was some really good content out there. Seeing sort of people try these beers as well as the usual rubbish that we get. So, and obviously when you get German craft beer, German craft beer, when you get traditional German style beer, it knocks the socks off of the crap that we get in this country, and it makes me wonder of where are we going, and where are the supermarkets going with these craft beer drops? Are they squeezing the brewer so tight that the adjunct heavy? I mean, Northern Monk this year, although they redeemed themselves with a couple of the beers that have gone in on this drop, have almost become the new Tiny Rebel of supermarket beer. Once the shining star of the supermarket beer drop, Northern Monk, Transient. We've had some salt seem to have disappeared from these latest drops, and they've done some fantastic beers over the years. ECAT, Tram is a tremendous beer. I need to pick Tram up again if that's still about. They seem to have disappeared. So are these breweries, are they being squeezed so tight that the ingredients that they're putting into them are at the absolute minimum? There's very little West Coast style. I think the brewery, so the supermarkets could learn from that. I know they've gone heavy on the haze bombs and the New England IPA beers over the last probably 4 or 5 years. That seems to have trickled away a little bit now, which is nice to see. Got sick to death of a New England supermarket beer, because Simon from Real Ale Craft Beer made a very good point. I don't agree with it, but I did see a few months back now, I watched one of his videos, and he said it's like they've all got the same recipe. I don't necessarily agree with that, but they've probably, I'm not saying they're sharing information, but there's a good point that they did all have a similar vibe about them at one point. There's a little bit more variation in this drop, but the adjunct heavy stouts are, I think they've become a real problem, because I think they're taken away from a well-made stout when you're just shoving sort of different shit in there to sort of give it a funny name and a funny look. I don't mind and adjunct beers, and it's done properly. And so some of the beers that Northern Monk put in, unfortunately, haven't been for my personal taste. Anyway, I'll always give a beer a fair shake of the stick, but it's got to be done properly. And again, obviously, chucking adjuncts in is probably cheaper than using hops and expensive malts and things like that. So that it's like the supermarkets are squeezing the brewers to get these beers in, and then we're having to pay. Let's be honest, they're not cheap. They're not cheap beers. I know you get your 4 for 3 deals and things like that, but we're having to pay good money for stuff that's not fantastic when you can pay an extra £1 online or a bottle shop, although we don't have one in Portsmouth anymore, sadly, and get a decent beer as well. So I'm interested in what you guys think. Are you supermarket beered out craft beer? Where do you think the problem lies? Is it within the supermarkets, and are they just throwing shit at a wall to see what sticks? Are we, as the consumer, expecting too much for our money? Has the supermarket bubble burst? Have they just oversaturated the market with very poor to half decent to very good in some standard cases beer, but generally they're hit and miss. When you're shelling out £3 to £5 for one can of something, you want to be sure that you're getting bang for your buck. And at the moment, it's like roulette with your money. I pick stuff up. I don't make my money back on most of the beers. I make a percentage back, but I pick them up. So help you guys make an informed decision. Obviously, we've all got different tastes. I like to pick up a shit. The which brings me to the brewery I miss the most. I was going to do a whole video on this. We're going to bring up this one. We're just having a chat. The brewery I miss the most in supermarkets, and I never thought I would say this. It's Donkey Stone Brewing. I miss Donkey Stone Brewing because although I universally hated every beer I ever picked up, it was fun, and that's what you should be about. It should be about fun and having a bit of fun and a laugh about and a joke about things. Now, yes, they were rubbish, but I'd probably be fucking shot dead if I went to Donkey Stone when it was open. They probably didn't know what it was, to be fair, but they were fun because I'd pick them up with a 90% chance it was going to be dreadful. But I like that. I like the fun. I like it to be fun. And I think that's where some of these breweries, like Northern Monk, have tried to be fun, and they can get it right. The original Aunt Bessie stuff was fun. It was good. That's about it. Ron Seal, the best bitter, that was all right. The Naughty and Nice from Vocation, they were okay. But when we're putting middle of the road stuff into the supermarkets, and it's just a bit meh. And if it's fun, I'm okay with it. If it's just meh for the sake of it, that's where it gets a bit tedious. The Lidl and Aldi beer. I mean, Aldi's beer is dreadful. It really is dreadful. I mean, they just haven't got it right. And the other thing I wanted to bring up was I can't remember how much was. Where is it? Where is? I don't know. I might have got rid of the can. Oh, this one. So back in whenever it was, May, I think it was May, June, we got this into Lidl. Checkmates. I can't remember how much it was. Was it £2? £2.50, something like that a can. That's just dropped into Morrison's. £3.50 a can. I don't get it. I don't get where is that price comparison? What would that price difference come from? From when it was in Lidl, and it was a fantastic price. Was it £2 something? I think £1 something. I can't remember. Someone will let me know. But how I mean, we're being taken for suckers. It's £3.50 now in Morrison's. I don't get it. I don't get it. And I think that's half my problem, is that I think the supermarkets think we'll buy substandard stuff and we'll just put up with it, and we do. And then this drop will go, and not one of these beers will last the test of time, like Love and Hate has done, and Life and Death. Life and Death's largely disappeared off the shelf. That changed a little bit, to be fair, but all of those beers that have come and gone, Love and Hate's still there, and not one of these will be in 2-3 years' time. They'll all be gone, fucked off into oblivion, a memory of a bygone age, and it's like nobody's bothered by that, and I don't understand it. I've waffled on. It's probably the most boring video you're ever going to see, but I was just interested. It's interested me that the quality of these beers in these drops have really tailed off this year. Certainly this drop hasn't been great. Obviously I haven't tried them all. There might be some absolute bangers that I haven't tried. If there's anything in there that I've missed and you think is well worth picking up, then let me know, and I'll do my best to get it. But it's a bit sad as a largely beer channel that you pick these beers up, you get quite excited by it, and then it's like, well, that's fucking rubbish, wasn't it? Absolute rubbish. And none of these beers, with the exception of Smug, I reckon would be anywhere near my top. Probably even that ain't going to come close in the top 10 beers of the year. I don't review everything. I don't put a lot of local beers on the channel. You want to see stuff that you can get, and that's the stage that the channel's at, really. I drink stuff locally to help the local breweries out. Most weekends, me and Wander will pop for one or two, always trying different things, and not one of these beers really matches the quality of the stuff that you could pick up in your local tap room, etc., etc. So, what are your thoughts? Have I completely missed the point? Am I barking up the wrong tree? Am I expecting too much of the supermarket drops these days? Are we to blame as YouTubers, YouTube beer reviewers? Are we to blame with oversaturation as well? As well as you guys and the Facebook forums and all the other forums that are out there, the people that put things on. Well, it's not called Twitter anymore. Is it called X? Not Twitter, so I don't know. But interested in your thoughts. Where do you think the supermarkets are at these days? Where would you rank this supermarket drop from Sainsbury's, TESCO, and Morrison's? Is there anything in there that you do think will stand the test of time and still be around in a couple of years, like Love and Hate? Leave your comments in the comments box. Have I missed anything? Got no notes. All I've got is the name of the beers. So yeah, leave your comments in the comments box what you think, and let me know. If you like this video, get a thumbs up. You don't get a thumbs down. There's a subscribe button somewhere. What do you want to see?